In terms of the UK, in terms of Brexit and in terms of the economy, do you think that the Bank of England will just see through the noise and go for an August rate hike?
I think that they will go for an August rate hike. That's what we're expecting. The economic data are holding up very well after a very weak first quarter. In the last few months, we've seen a recovery. We know that Bank of England policymakers are worried that there's little spare capacity in the economy and they see wages rising. So they see the need to remove some of the policy accommodation that's in place. In terms of Brexit and the Brexit noise, I think that policymakers are very much prepared to look through the current uncertainty and assume that there will be a reasonable outcome. Our own view is that they want to raise interest rates, they see the need to raise interest rates, and that now presents an opportunity. Of course, there may be further Brexit uncertainty, and we could, certainly if we move to a situation of a no-deal outcome, which is a small possibility but not negligible, then that would be a reason for policymakers to stay very cautious. We expect that the Bank of England will stay on hold after a rate hike in August and probably not move again until late next year.
Sarah, how close are you to analysing, winners and losers if we do get a Brexit deal that looks like the white paper we had last week in terms of the parts of the economy that win? I've got this and it links into what Guy was talking about there in the aerospace industry. This shows the aerospace sector doing quite well versus the FTSE 100. The Latin title, a reference to the RAF, I understand from my colleague Stu Hawkins, who knows more about these things than I do. But basically just a way of illustrating some sectors seen doing better than others. Where do you think, who will win out if we do get a Brexit deal that looks like last week's white paper?
I think that it's going to be difficult to get something that does look like last week's white paper because it's a bit of a sort of Norway light type of option. If we get a true soft Brexit, then that's going to be very supportive to businesses that are trading with the EU, and I think in general it will lift a lot of uncertainty for British business in general. If it looks as if we're going more towards a Canada style, just a free trade agreement, hopefully with a transition period, then companies that are reliant upon exports, in particular to the EU, I think are going to be feeling the pain.